definitely think that we are going to receive extreme scrutiny on our election next year. I think that a lot of parties are interested in seeing how this, wave of political ideology, if it can spread. And many people are seeing France as almost the litmus test as to what the future could hold for Europe. And if France sort of falls to the same type of ideologies with some of these more extremist candidates that we've seen emerging, then that sort of sets a very, in my opinion, dark tone for what the conversation is going to be about a lot of issues. And once you factor in all of these accusations and speculation and just the looking at the actual impact of fake information, of fake news stories, of people not knowing what to believe, of the erosion of trust in institutions like the media, it's very troubling because democracy, I think, is based on informed citizens. So how are we supposed to be informed if the information that we're receiving is so corrupted, it's so polluted?
All right, here, Jean-Pierre Larochelle was saying, rightfully so, there is no evidence when it comes to Breitbart whatsoever. Here in France, we have the candidate of the center-right. It's unprecedented. François Fillon, former prime minister, he was prime minister at the same time as Vladimir Putin. He says, I like Russia because I like Putin because we have a good working relationship. But I'm the president of France. I'm not so selling out in any way. Should we believe him at face value when he says that? Or should we be investigating to see, are there links that we don't know about between Fillon and Russia?
I mean, I think we have to take a measured response. I think we should be sort of optimistic in the sense of listening to what they have to say. But I think in the age of transparency, the journalistic institutions owe us to do a very deep due diligence. We need to know. I'd like to see every fact vetted. I'd like to see everything very clear and very transparent. Because as we've seen in the American election process, what's more troubling than having the media report on things that aren't true is to have the president-elect say things that are blatantly untrue. There is a disruption of trust structures that I think is unprecedented in terms of what we can believe by individuals that are supposed to have the public's best interest at heart.
Jean-Pierre Larochelle?
I think a lot of this is a spin by the DNC and the Democratic Party and by Hillary Clinton refusing to accept their role and responsibility for the loss in this election. And they've done this time and time again throughout the election. I mean, even when these leaks first came out, they tried to suggest that maybe these emails weren't accurate because it came from a Russian source. There has not been one single email that was published by WikiLeaks which has been shown to be false. And many of them, if not most of them, have been proven to be correct through digital security. So I think that there is an issue here, and I'm not denying that there's an issue about security and intelligence. We have to be concerned about what Russia's doing. But to use this as a way to say, well, we didn't really lose the election and we would have won the election had it not been for
Okay,
this.
so when you see the French center-right pivot more towards Moscow, you just take it at face value that the times they are changing, it's just politics and they have the right to do so? Or do you, like Rahaf says, do you probe more? The onus is on journalists to look into this.
I think we should always be looking for cases of possible corruption or undue foreign influence. But I think we also have to be worried about this sort of Red Scare thing. I mean, it's very reminiscent of the 50s. And I think a lot of this is being used for political purposes in exactly that vein.